A man asked me for coffee today after work, and I politely told him no, and then brought myself to McAllister's, where I got this croissant, this grilled chicken sandwich, and an entire bowl of broccoli cheddar soup and a Dr. Pepper for under $25. Now, I'm not going to argue with you about how you like to date, just like I don't want you to argue with me about how I like to date. But coffee is never going to be an option for me. And just like I respect your choice to coffee, respect mine to not coffee.
Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Queen Choma here. So this video is about a lady who was asked on a coffee date, but she politely declined, and people are coming for her in the comment section. Why did she decline a coffee date? That she should be able to settle for whatever a man is ready to offer her because she's ugly and fat and all that. So a lot of people had a negative things to say about it. So guys, let's go and watch the videos and people's reaction to it, and when we'll come back, we'll talk a bit about it.
Honestly, I respect the fact that you view coffee dates as a start. Unfortunately, I do not. And if the purpose of coffee dates is to engage in conversation, I'm having a hard time understanding how you even get to the date. For example, for me, I'm having meaningful and deep conversations with somebody before I even agree to go on a date with them. And I can do that on the dating apps or through text, over the phone, FaceTime, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it. My first time having meaningful conversations with you is not going to be our first time meeting in person, because if I don't like having conversations with you over the phone, I am not going to spend an hour of my two trying to have a conversation with somebody that has already shown me that conversation is boring and or difficult with them, when there's a lot less pressure to have a conversation with somebody on the phone. Furthermore, I don't drink coffee, and I'm not necessarily a fan of coffee shops. And to me, coffee dates are low effort, and I don't necessarily want to entertain someone who is putting in what I perceive to be low effort from the very beginning. Whether that's what they're doing or not, that is my perception of it. Just like it might be their perception that they don't want to entertain a woman who expects so much from the very beginning. That's also fair. So I feel like by me not agreeing to go on coffee dates, that frees up his time to go find somebody that will go on coffee dates with him, and that frees up my time to go find somebody that will do the things that I want to do, or things that I'm interested in doing at the bare minimum. Biggie had two baddies fighting over him and eating his like groceries. And for some reason, men seem to think that I can't find a man that's willing to take me for coffee. And I notice anytime that I post anything about dating, especially on this app, the number one comment that I get is because I'm fat and ugly, that I should be willing to settle for whatever a man is willing to offer me, right? And I always find that interesting, because it almost feels like they have this assumption that any man who's trying to date me has never seen me before. And what I noticed from that comment section is a lot of people like coffee dates or ice cream dates or whatever the case may be, because it's low effort, low commitment, low risk. And for the men, it's cost effective, right? And a lot of people were trying to compare it to a job interview, right? And I think the part that they are skipping with the job interview is after you submit your resume and the application, if you are deemed worthy, what happens? You get the phone interview. After the phone interview, if the employer deems you worthy enough, then they will invest the resources to fly you out for an in-person job interview. And I feel like a lot of y'all are skipping that step. I feel like a lot of y'all will meet somebody on a dating app on a Wednesday, and by Thursday you are trying to go get coffee, which is why y'all want the low risk, low commitment, cost effective dates, because y'all are not taking the time to have the phone interview. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, my first time having a meaningful conversation with somebody is not going to be the first date. The men are up in arms because I had the audacity to turn down a coffee date. Let's read the things they left in my comment section together. Comment number 1, you did him a favor with a picture of a plus size baddie. And the part that confuses me about this is that man knows what I look like and he had no issue. And ladies, this is a warning for you. When you see a 4 acting like she's a 9, mind you, the only thing I did was turn down a coffee date, right? And so it's peculiar to me that men think the ability to turn down a coffee date. Now, in the video, I was at McAllister's and I got a croissant, broccoli cheddar soup, a grilled chicken sandwich, and a Dr. Pepper. So this person is asking, did they have any salad bowls? And to that I say, I don't know. I went there for soup and a sandwich.
Lady, you should be happy anyone is asking you on a date, and that's the problem. We got 5s and 4s acting like they're 10s. Sir, how do you know what the dating standard? Coffee is never going to be enough for me. Yes, we know. I actually said coffee is never going to be an option for me. If you're going to talk shit, at least do it correctly.
Social media really got a lot of y'all portraying yourselves online in a way that you would never portray yourself in real life because you know that's not who you really are. Some women gotta be very, very grateful that someone even asked them on a date. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't believe that anybody asked her on a coffee date at all. I'm trying to figure out why am I seeing so many videos of women against coffee dates. I can almost put money on it that she in particular does not get asked out on dates often. I think a lot of women get online and make videos like that because they want to brag. Oh my God, a guy actually asked me out. Let me go online and tell everybody, like, girl, if you get asked out a lot or if guys approach you a lot and you know you're used to saying no, that's not a conversation to have online. But when you're not always being approached, get online and brag like, oh my God, someone asked me on a coffee date. Girl, be happy somebody asked you out because the comments already ripping you a new asshole. Be for real.
Although we certainly should, I do not want to get into the nastiness that was perpetuated in that video. I do not use nor do I like the term pick me, but baby, I am assuming that is what y'all mean when y'all say this. I would never understand criticizing or downing another woman for personal gain, even if it's for making a video. That's crazy, but that's not what I came here to say. I know y'all have seen a lot of response videos with people saying that they don't want to do coffee dates. Women saying they don't want to do coffee dates because they feel it is low effort. And I don't think you guys are understanding what they mean. So let me give you one of the real reasons that I don't think has been discussed as to why coffee dates are not enough. And I'm gonna let my girl start it off.
People don't be curious enough for me. People be looking for attention too much. And not real connections. It's just about attention.
What in the hell are we sitting down on a first date with coffee for? By the time we get to the first date, we should have already talked. Hell, at least text. Or if you want to talk about bare minimum, you should have at least stalked my social media. And at this point, before we even get to the date, before we even get to the outing, before we even get to the link, stink, you should know something. You should know something about me. At that point, you should have already asked me what my interests are, who I be with, things to make me smile, what numbers to dial. We should be doing something that is stimulating and creating attraction and interaction, especially on the first one. Dating is supposed to be fun, and for a lot of us, it is boring because y'all are not inquisitive enough. Y'all are not wondrous. Y'all are not fun. You're not generating any kind of excitement. It's not enticing. This why y'all ain't getting no ass. Especially if you're trying to date an intellectual, sapiosexual, women who have hobbies, women who are cultured, well-rounded, or traveled. They don't want to have no fucking cup of coffee. They want to do things that are stimulating. They are already doing things in their everyday life with their friends, with their family that are fun, stimulating, engaging, piquing their interest. Y'all don't know how to do that. And that's why coffee dates will never fucking work. Everybody should be dating at their level anyway. If you like coffee dates, that's okay. Person one and person two, do you boo. Y'all should be the ones going on coffee dates. But don't get mad at that lady or anyone else who feels like that's not enough. And to my beautiful women, baby, let me talk to y'all for a minute. If you are like me and have come out of hiatus and are just starting again to date, please let me let you know. It is not you. Your standards are not too high. You have to understand that a lot of these persons were who they were before you even came in contact with them. And the fact that there are women out here who are okay with low effort, bare minimum, that is how these monsters were created. Don't take it personal, okay? Just try to move on and find somebody that is inquisitive, interested, engaging, entertaining, thoughtful, and will take you anywhere you want to go.
The reason it is so triggering for some people to hear a woman say she will not go on coffee dates or she does not prefer to go for coffee as a first date, it is because that woman's standards are a projection of that person's own insecurities. When you are comfortable with the decisions that you have made in your life and the standards you have for yourself, someone else's standards and boundaries will not trigger any kind of reaction from you. Now, it's one thing to say, hey, I don't prefer to go for coffee as a date, as opposed to all women who would accept coffee as a first date are dating brokies or have low standards or are settling for the bare minimum, etc. Those two statements are entirely different things. However, the way people respond to the former, a woman simply stating her own boundaries, especially in the confines of dating, are absolutely a reflection of not only how degraded relations have become between men and women as far as dating goes, but it is also a reflection that some of us really need to take a step back and recognize that not everybody has to validate our choices, our feelings, our opinions, our standards, and how we move through life.
I think if some of you were truly as happy with your life decisions, you would feel no need to get on the internet and shame someone else for their life decisions. And I say this as someone who previously, when I was dating, I didn't mind a coffee date. I didn't mind a cute coffee date in the middle of the afternoon to kind of break up the monotony of going to work. But there would be no reason, as someone who prefers or not prefers, but who liked a cute coffee date, to then get on the internet and shame a woman who, for her, that is against her standards, because I don't see her standards having anything to do with me. And watching so many people feel absolutely comfortable getting on the internet and telling a woman, because she doesn't fit your standard of beauty, that she should just accept anything and everything, regardless of the package it comes in, I think speaks to your insecurities than it does hers. You are projecting that you are uncomfortable with the life you are living, with the standards you've set for yourself. And what you're getting on the internet doing is looking for validation for your lackluster standards. And I say lackluster not because I disagree with them, but because you disagree with them. If you truly like the things you do, if you truly like the standards you've set for yourself, if you are perfectly happy with going on a coffee date, then whether or not that woman likes it or not has nothing to do with you. She is allowed to set boundaries and standards for how she decides to date. And that is okay.
Ashley, you ain't wrong. And the reason why you're not wrong is because you set a standard for yourself. That's why you're not wrong. And if anybody has a problem with how you feel about a coffee date, they need to set a higher standard. And ladies, you will be doing a great disservice if you're in the comments giving your good sister Ashley too much about a cup of coffee, like she's not deserving of something better. And if you ask me, I want my sister and my cousins to be like Ashley, set a standard, a high one. You don't deserve coffee, you deserve champagne. You don't deserve coffee, you deserve caviar. And if more women actually thought like Ashley, they might be in better situations. They might not be with that deadbeat husband. They might not be with that deadbeat baby daddy. Be more like Ashley. Set the bar high. Have a caviar standard, darling.
You didn't want coffee, but you ate McAllister's. McAllister's is about compatible as far as price point to a coffee shop. When y'all talk about a coffee shop, y'all act like Starbucks is the only coffee shop that exists. Most coffee shops nowadays got full menus. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap at all. I can spend anywhere from $10 to $12 on a matcha or a chai latte, depending on how I fix it up. If I substitute the milks, if I add in certain syrups, it can get up to about $12 sometimes just for the drink. So sitting up here and acting as if you got these high standards because you turning down a coffee shop, but then in exchange for turning down a coffee shop, you went and took yourself to McAllister's for an under 25 meal deal. And she was absolutely trying to be shady in this whole thing. She's being disingenuous by sitting up now and acting as if that wasn't her intention. She's not trying to make it seem like she too good or that wasn't the tone of it. But yes, it is. Yes, it is. You got on here and made it seem as if you're too good. You can't take a coffee date. And that's why you're getting ate up by the internet. You deserve to get ate up by the internet because you were trying to shame women who will accept coffee dates and make it seem like you're too good for one, and it backfired on you, right? Because you ain't the messenger for that message. And that's the reason why the internet coming for you. It ain't no different than the dude who was talking about mid women approaching him looking the way he did. Y'all are one and the same type of people. Anytime y'all put too much emphasis on where the date is or how much the date costs, I know you're not used to nothing. You're not used to dates and you're not used to going to nice places. I also know a lot of y'all women use these dates as opportunity to dress up, social media content, and to brag to your homegirls about where you got a man to take you to. But most of the time when somebody prioritizes the location and the price point over just getting to know the person, which is what the whole interaction is supposed to be about, it's because you don't have pure intentions. Because by this point, we all know no matter where that man take you, no matter how much he spends, none of that is a reflection on what he wants with you and how he's going to treat you.
Y'all gonna hate me, but sis, you probably blocked your blessing. That was probably your husband. I'm gonna tell you why. A week ago, a guy asked me out to go get coffee. Now, I'm okay with getting coffee, but to me, it's not a date. It's a meet and greet. I'm okay if that's the first time we're meeting. We can meet over coffee, whatever. He picked Starbucks. I said, yuck, let's go to this place. It's cuter and has better coffee. So we meet there. I'm on the fence, not sure if I like the guy. We end up meeting again. Second time we met over dinner. I really enjoyed the dinner. Long story short, I met this man 3-4 times in 1 week. By the third time, he brought me third or fourth time, he brought me flowers. He brought me flowers. And by that time, I realized that I really liked this guy. He realized that he liked me on the first meet. The first meet, he already knew that he liked me. But yeah, don't knock meeting up for the first time for coffee. It's not a date. I call it a meet and greet. But don't knock meeting up the first time for coffee. That's all I gotta say.
This is my motion to make coffee dates acceptable as a first date. First thing, they're quick, they're easy. If the date goes left, 20 minutes, we can all go home. No time wasted, nobody feels no type of way. No one feels slated over an $8 coffee. Everybody can move on quickly. 2, as women, it's a lot safer option. Coffee dates are like during the day. They're like less intimate. So the expectations of like potentially getting sex later on or not getting it and the men being upset because they didn't get it, they're a lot lower when all they're doing is taking you out for coffee. They don't even get the opportunity to feel like you owe them something in return for $8 coffee. Think about it. 3, the whole purpose of a date is to get to know the other person. And I think that a coffee shop creates a great environment for conversation. You got kids? No, I ain't got no kids. You like dogs? I like dogs. You like Mike and Ike? I like Mike and Ike. Can I get your number? Think about it. Number 4, if the date goes good, y'all can stay there longer. Get a bite to eat at the coffee shop or get another coffee. But it's a low cost, chill environment to get the job done of what a date is supposed to do. I think that we should make first dates acceptable to be at a coffee shop. And then if it goes well, like it's like we plan a second date. But the men are killing us. They're murdering us because they feel like if they spent $200 on a ribeye, that we gotta pop that nanny. And when we don't pop that nanny, they're like, they pop the Glock. Ladies, consider it.
But at least we know who is never getting a date again. At this point, like, come on now. She just didn't like the guy, which, okay, fine, that's fine. All is fair if you just say you don't like that person. But to say you don't like coffee dates, because anybody will go anywhere for the person that they really like. They will break the rules for someone they really like. They will go on a date anywhere for someone that they really like. It don't matter what type of coffee. It could be just a picnic, drinking 2 slushies in a sewer. If she likes you enough, she'll do it. And if she tells you straight up, oh, I'm not going this place, you gotta take me somewhere else, she just does not like you, because she will go anywhere for the guy that she really likes. Let that be a lesson to you.
One thing that I'm noticing about this whole coffee date conversation is that a lot of y'all just don't think that she is attractive enough to ask for more. A lot of y'all think that she is not attractive enough to have standards. And it's honestly annoying. Because if the girl don't want to go on no coffee date, then she don't need to go on no coffee date. And if he the type of man that like to take women on coffee dates, then there are plenty of women obviously out there who will go on a coffee date with him. But y'all are dragging it, and it's honestly because y'all think that she's not conventionally attractive or whatever. And then on the flip side, me personally, I wouldn't mind a coffee date. Because honestly, if it's not a coffee date, it could be a FaceTime. Our first interaction, I don't want to be sitting at a table with somebody that I don't like, or somebody I'm not vibing with, or somebody that I'm not getting a good vibe from, you know? So I would prefer a little coffee chit chat or a FaceTime before we even go anywhere, seriously. But everybody has their preferences. Maybe she don't like coffee like that. I'm a coffee lover, a matcha lover. I might even give me a breakfast sandwich, a muffin or something. But maybe that's not her cup of tea, and that's cool.
I forgot to make a video about the lady that didn't want to do the coffee date. And I didn't want to do a video because I'm like, everybody else is doing videos. And honestly, as I've grown, like I'm now newly 30, My thoughts have changed from the time that I was dating to the time that like now. And listen, I used to be against coffee dates. And if you're a person that just doesn't drink coffee, then that would make sense. But if you actually drink coffee, you like lattes, matchas and stuff like that, I'm going to say now at my age, if someone's asking me to go on a coffee date, I'm not necessarily going to say no, only because time is money. I kind of don't want to do like a huge extravagant dinner date with anybody but my homegirls or my friends, because at that point I know I'm going to enjoy myself. If you've been on a dinner date with someone and you just don't like them, it's just literally one of the, you would literally rather be anywhere else. So for me at this age, if someone says like, did you want to go grab a cup of coffee, like I'm not too mad at it. We can do 20 to 30 minutes. I'll see if I like you. And then we'll see if we need to do more dates. I think the major complaint that she had was that it's low effort. And while I understand that, I don't think necessarily grabbing drinks is more effort than grabbing a cup of coffee. I think it's just what we say in our mind, like we want to go to this nice fancy place. But there was one time I went on a coffee date and I was just so glad that we were nowhere else, because he literally was embarrassing me. And I was just like, I'm just kind of glad that we went to the Starbucks right here and we weren't actually in a place that I actually liked, or one of the places that I frequent. I do think people, look for an opportunity to get mean. And, when you're on the internet and you look a certain way, whether you're bigger, whether you're blacker, whatever, the internet can be ruthless. And sometimes it don't even, of course, it's added when you're darker skinned, but they was ripping up this other girl and she was light, telling her, she was talking about pretty privilege, and the just the comments just did what they were supposed, they just always going to do what they're going to do. Anyways, apart from that, if a person just doesn't want to accept a coffee date, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, hey, that's not really my style. Could we try something else? And then have that communication. I had a man try to take me on a buffet date. And I did a story time and I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing a buffet date. I'm sorry. I don't really like buffets. I just don't think they're clean. I don't like the food. I think a buffet should really only be like if you're on a resort or something like that. Like that to me was just like a no-go for me. But I didn't sit here and bash him. I just let him know, hey, like I don't think I would like to do that. Is there anywhere else that you think that you would like, to go or anything like that? And then we went, and it was no big goddamn deal. Now, maybe he didn't like the fact that I didn't want to go on a buffet date, and that's also fine. Like, you can find somebody else that likes that type of stuff. But I don't know. I just feel like y'all just wanted to rip that girl a new one, and she's standing in the fire, so I got to give it to her. But me at this age now, I don't necessarily feel like the worst thing a guy could do is take me on a coffee date.
So guys, do let me know what you think about this in the comment section. So one thing I want to say is that if a woman likes you, it doesn't matter if it's a coffee date or a popcorn date or whatever it is, the person is going to show up. The person will want to go on a date with you if the person likes you. It doesn't even matter if it's a water date, you guys sit down and be drinking water and having a chat, a conversation, get to know each other. The person is going to show up. The person will go on a date with you. Probably this lady does not like coffee, or she doesn't want to take coffee and said, no, I will not be going on a date with you. And for some reason, some people are coming for her, saying all sorts of things that doesn't make sense. She should be able to accept whatever a man is willing to offer her because she's ugly, and she should be happy that a guy even asked her out on a date. That's not fair. She's beautiful the way she is. The guy saw her and asked her out on a date. So the guy knows what she looks like and liked her and wanted to go on a date with her. So why all these horrible comments that she should settle for whatever? That's the one that is busting my brain. She should settle for whatever a man is willing to offer her because she's a plus size or because of what. So guys, do let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Let's have a conversation about this. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video.